ways to get them off the computer. So one day, my mom opened up the neighborhood newsletter to a picture of what was called the smoke hole. And it was like underage teenagers drinking beer in the woods. Who could that possibly be? Well, Mom, that's my soccer ball in the background of that picture. You're grounded, Brian. The computer is mine. Now that Brian was grounded, how was he going to be cool and drink beer? Well, he figured out that if he threw beer away in the trash can, then Mom and Dad would find out. So Jimmy and Brian thought of this genius idea. In our basement, we had removable tile ceilings that you could lift up and put to the side. So they hid years worth of beer in the ceiling. And one day, my mom and dad wanted a new TV in the living room, and the guy said, "Hey, I'm gonna have to wire this up from the basement." And so he went downstairs and he removed the tile into an ocean of beer cans straight to the dome. So there's my role models. And so now, now that they've been grounded successfully, I'm a genius. They started playing more on the computer. I would always annoy them when they're on the computer, and I would always be over their shoulder, like, get off, it's my turn, blah, blah, and they'd be like, "No way, I'm 3 times your size. You're not getting anywhere." And so they decided to tie me to a chair, an office chair, and then put me in front of the TV and turn on Oprah Winfrey Network. And I watched every second of the Oprah Winfrey Network. And my mom would come home and she would say, "Jack, why are you watching the Oprah Winfrey Network?" And I'd say, "I didn't turn on the Oprah Winfrey Network. I also didn't tie myself to this chair." But the computer was a good thing for my parents because, if we weren't fighting over the computer, we were definitely thinking of clever ways to devalue the property of our house. It's kind of like a linear scale. The older your 3 boys get, the less valuable your property becomes. It's an interesting phenomenon, truly. However, there were good things about growing up with Brian. The good things about growing up with Brian were having my first place trophies next to his participation award trophies. You truly are the most improved. But eventually we grew up. We were actually neighbors in college. Me and Brian lived together. I actually lived down the street. We shared a car, which was awful. I see them shaking their head, yes. But we started to, become friends instead of enemies. And we all got into relationships. Relationships, they can be hard. Sometimes you think you're being funny and hilarious, and the next your significant other is saying you're being inappropriate at the Christmas party. But I know the relationship that I'm witnessing tonight is a relationship that will last forever. They say a true measure of someone's soul is how many people will come out and celebrate them. And I think this is an amazing representation of that saying. And so after graduating college, there was a time period where I didn't have a place to stay. I was in between apartments, and Brian and them let me live with them. I have the inside scoop. I can tell you that they truly are the most amazing people. I have drank an infinite amount of Brian's beer for free that he definitely bought, and I have eaten an infinite amount of food, and they have never, ever, ever asked me for a penny. They were always the sweetest, most amazing, most welcoming people in the world. And that's just a representation of who they are as people. And so I just wanted to say that I'm so glad that they found each other, and that I love you guys so much, and that Mom told me to say that. And so cheers to the Newtons.